Hi, Sally Baldwin, medium here once again, bringing in the great ones, the entities, the beings who are non-physical form, who come through me and give us insight and guidance into what it is that we need help with here in the physical plane as we live our human lives. So today I'm just going to open up and see where they take us. Welcome. It is not just an experience of randomness, dear ones, or the idea that somehow you were born into this world of these particular parents at this particular time. Most of you know this on some level, and yet you give over to your lives as it comes forward in this way, just acquiescing to what it is that around you the conditions demand. This is important that you recognize that you all strive so to follow what rules, what sensations, and what conditions are set up for you as you enter into this incarnation. You recognize and know that you try so hard to move in a direction that others will accept you and approve of you and give you the feedback that you are worthy. This is an important point that we take you to today, for it is at the very basis of so much of the consternation and the difficulty and disturbances you feel in your current world. That so much of what is occurring you find to be so negative, so difficult, wondering how you can avoid it, run the other way, go in a different direction, and not have it hurt or harm or color your life in any way. And yet, what all of you know, what every one of you can agree to, is that no matter how much you turn away, no matter how far you try to run, you are always going to run into experiences that bring challenge, difficulty, what you might even call pain and harmfulness. And yet, it is not only that experience that your physical nature is judging that you are having. This is where many of you find yourselves confused. You think on some level that if it's not going according to plan, not going according to what your ego or your mind wants, then it must be off. It must be wrong. And so then, of course, when the experience happens that you interpret this way, you immediately respond with emotions that go down that path. Frustration, anger, a sense of judgment, criticism, whatever it is that comes out, you feel is justified because something has not gone according to your inner plan. But what you must realize, dear ones, is that there is a time now, this is the time, where you must begin to get the idea that if something is coming forward that's challenging you, that's difficult, that in some way you don't know how to interpret except in a negative way, then you must ask yourself, what is it about me that is playing so small? What is it about me that isn't living up to what I could possibly live up to here? Now, many of you would say, well, I can't go there. I honestly know this does not make me feel good, so it is a bad thing, and I'm not going to ponder it or look at it as if it could be seen from another angle. Well, we suggest to you that if you are taking that path and that you insist that this is what it is and you will feel what you feel because you can't go anywhere else, then you will recognize that whatever is happening, whatever has wrought that kind of feeling for you, will happen again and again and again until you begin to interpret it differently. If each of you step back for a moment and look at yourselves when you've been in a particularly stubborn moment like this, you will see that very much the very same situations that you have felt were not there because you asked them to be, because you invited them in, but because something went awry or off, will notice that that continued to happen until you did something to change. This is an important revelation now that so many of you have been railing against and have not recognized to what degree you could embrace, empower, and move yourselves forward. What you sense now on this earth is that there are those who are for and against you. This has been going on for eons, for generations, the idea that there are those who are true and positive and those who are negative and against you. Well, begin to see, dear ones, that that is not the case, that everything is an opportunity for you to see something good, something bright, something important in your life. But you must take that step in the midst of the very thing that you think is against you. You have to be willing, of course. You have to take that step with a knowledge that you are being alert to it. Many of you feel you can't. Many of you sense there is no reason to. And yet, in this moment of time, if you do not begin to shift and change into that perception, You will notice then that you feel smothered and caught under something most heavy and difficult. It's not what you want, and yet it's what you are reaping, because this is what you sow. Now you must take stock and understand this, and begin to look at yourselves more rather than the external world. How long did that go?